Okay, you clicked on this video, you probably don't exactly love your job. And look, I get it. I know what it's like to be woken up by your alarm clock on a Monday and you want to sleep in, but you can't. You have to get dressed, you have to eat something, you have to catch that bus, and you have to get to work. And you have to pretend to smile, pretend to care. You do this the entire day and you get so tired of it. And you don't have any energy to do anything else in the evening other than, watching Netflix. And you have to do this all week, the entire month, the entire year, and ultimately your entire life. And you hate it. Oh, and by the way, in case you're wondering, I'm not trying to sell you any courses or books. This is not about that. There is a lot of videos, courses, and books on how to get out of the rat race, and I'm certainly no expert in this area. I work as a consultant, but like you, I hate my job. But I've actually gotten better and better at getting less dependent on wage slave society. In this video, I simply want to share some thoughts that hopefully will help you get a better understanding of money, work, and investing. Now, some people love their jobs to the point where they don't actually see it as work, and we hate these people. To be fair, it's mostly because we're jealous of them. So yes, one option here is that you can actually try to find a job that you would love. And I get it from my own experience. Sometimes you have to take a job that you don't really want, to pay the bills, and you feel stuck. Have you noticed in movies and when you talk to friends and family, it's a bad thing to love money. It's like society has programmed most of us to hate money. Now, I'm not saying that we should all learn to love money, but how can we get better at using money if we hate it? You see what I'm saying? And I think that the reason that most people are stuck in the rat race is because we have a very limited understanding of money and how it actually works. And it's no wonder. It's really not your fault. They don't really teach us anything about money in school, and we don't learn to use money the right way. And our parents, they can only teach us what they know, which is practically nothing. And all our parents know is basically how to get a paycheck and how to live from paycheck to paycheck. So it's a vicious cycle. And we're all sort of born into this wage slave society. In other words, the paycheck has a hold on you because you spend all of it, if not most of it, every single month, and you have no choice but to live paycheck to paycheck. The trick here is to be less dependent of that paycheck. So the first step is to stop buying a lot of junk that you don't really need. You don't need an iPhone that costs $1,000, and any smartphone will be more than capable. And I get it, the iPhone has become sort of a status symbol. It's sort of a Rolex of this digital lifestyle obsession. But there are other things like buying a house. Most people want to have a house. The problem is that those mortgages, they screw us over, and people still think that owning your own house is an investment. And this is a lie fabricated by banks. And it's buzzing around in the echo chamber, at work, ask coworkers, they will tell you owning your house is the best investment. But when you do the math, it doesn't actually add up. And even if the value of the house goes up, the math just doesn't equal the mortgage, interest, and the various costs surrounding that house. Now, I get it. Some of us don't make a lot and we barely make it on our paychecks. But one rule that has always helped me is this: spend less than you make. Meaning that at the end of each month, you will always have some money left over. And this is something that I save, that I invest in stock or crypto, or just keep on a savings account. So the first step is to track all of your spending, which I know it sounds so boring, but remember, that's what they want you to think. They want you to not care about your money, and that's how they control you. And when I say they, it sounds like a big conspiracy, right? And honestly, maybe it is, but that's not what this video is about. I honestly don't care if there's some ancient elite society or just hyper-capitalist or just random chance. The goal here is to have financial control. And this is something that I think that most of you have probably never had. Okay, so imagine that you suddenly don't have any bills to pay, you don't have to pay for food. You would basically no longer need to work because you would not need that paycheck. Now, let's face it, most of us would not work unless we got paid. Nobody in their right mind would do all of that work for free. But the most important thing to understand about your work is that when you work a regular job, you're getting active income. And that means you're getting paid once for the work that you do. But the company, the company will always make more on you. Ask any person who started their own consulting firm, they will tell you that most people have no idea how much they're getting screwed by corporations. Now, I often hear people brag about, how they just got a pay raise and they doubled their pay by going to a different company. And while all of that sounds great, you need to understand that the company will always make more on your efforts than you are getting paid. No matter how hard you work, you only get paid once, and that's the problem with active income. Now, with passive income, you get paid for a longer period of time. So, for example, this video right here, if people keep watching it in the future, I'll be making money from it basically every single day for many years. But for those of you who think that, passive income doesn't exist, I can tell you that I have several passive income streams, meaning that yes, I am making money in my sleep. For example, I have videos on this platform that I made many years ago that are still earning money. I have a book that I wrote several years ago where I still get paychecks. And I have video stock libraries where people pay to use my video clips. Now, the problem with passive income is that it gives people the wrong idea. Getting paid when you're sleeping sounds too good to be true. Now, technically it's true, but there is a lot of work to create that passive income stream and you have to maintain it. So my suggestion to you is this: have a side hustle or start building passive income streams. And over time, those passive income streams will be big enough to make it possible for you to work less. But it's important to use those extra earnings the right way, to the point where money will work for you. Now, as crazy as that sounds, that's actually how rich people use money. While this isn't financial advice, after all, I'm just a guy on the internet sharing some thoughts, I don't see why you would want to take advice from real financial advisors. These are people who work at banks who know so little about investing that they can't actually get out of a 9-to-5 job. And these are the only people that are allowed to give financial advice. Think about that. So I wanted to share my experience with investing and what I've learned, but I can offer you one advice, which I don't think anyone will sue me for. Please, please do not invest your life savings. Only invest what you can afford to lose, okay? Good. So investing takes money, knowledge, and luck, essentially. And with the right strategy, you can avoid most pitfalls, but unfortunately, not all of them. Honestly, the thing that I've learned the most from investing is that you have to have a more offensive strategy. A lot of people have this fear about, losing their savings, that they don't invest at all, or they make bad investing decisions. Now, don't get that wrong. I always diversify, meaning I invest in very different things: stocks, bonds, crypto, commodity. But in the end, I never bet on safe equity funds. The most money I've ever lost on investing was on crypto, but that's also where I have made the most money. And that's why I go for a more offensive strategy. When I invest my money, I don't worry about losing it. Fear of losing it would paralyze me, And I don't believe in short things. All investments are risks. And to be honest, I think all investments are basically pyramid schemes, because the idea of any investments is to be an early investor, and you sell when a lot of people buy into it and bump up the value. So the trick is to invest in something that you believe that other people will invest in the future. And I remember trying to get friends and family to also invest, but they were too afraid to risk their money. They saw crypto investing as a scam and basically gambling, and they are probably right. But my point is, they were being defensive when they should have been offensive with their money. Now, I am not suggesting that you invest in crypto. Invest on what you feel most comfortable with. The more money you have to spend on investing, the more risks you can take. And I don't believe in shortcuts. Anything you invest in, you should put in some time to understand it. People often ask me what to invest in, and it's not a bad idea to ask people for advice, but don't be lazy. Do your own research, and remember that nobody knows what will go up or down. No matter how much research you do, I've seen flawless investment opportunities that have crashed, and I've seen worthless meme coins just explode. So my experience has also been that my gut feeling is often right when investing. So for example, I had a strong gut feeling that people would invest in Dogecoin. I knew it was a worthless meme coin, but I thought a lot of people would buy it because it was funny. And I was right. Even Elon Musk bought into it. So I'm not saying that anyone can start the next Amazon and become a billionaire. And also leaving that comfortable paycheck to paycheck lifestyle is very difficult. Trust me, I know. So forget about starting your own business at first. Instead, try to start a side hustle, and this way you can take your time figuring things out. Most people who fail at startups have no room to fail. They usually start off by taking a big loan or saving some money so they can start their business, and I don't think this is a good idea. I think that starting a business sometimes can take a long time, so depending on what you do and how lucky you are doing things right from the start, it's better to just start a side hustle so you can grow over time. But the question you might be asking is, doing exactly what? And here's the secret of success that most people have no idea. Society has this way of keeping people from understanding their true potential. Now, let me assure you, you are 100% an expert in one or many fields, and because of the internet, you can scale any topic. You love Star Wars? Start a YouTube channel or a podcast about it. Or let's say you love horseback riding. You can sell e-courses, e-books, you can set up your own web shop where you recommend and sell products. The internet is basically amazing in that way, and it's very easy. Now, this all might seem very daunting if you haven't done any of this stuff before, but this is what you're supposed to use the internet for. If you know how to use Google, you have the tool to get started. Okay, so some final thoughts. Don't depend on your job as your only income. Start a side hustle. Use the internet to create digital assets that generate passive income. And right now, your income is 100% coming from active work, but you can sort of gradually develop that to make more and more of that income to be passive. Now, the problem with earning money online is unlike a steady paycheck, passive income can fluctuate from month to month. So it is important to diversify your passive income streams. Now, I think that you increase your odds of success if you focus on one thing only, but keep other side hustle projects and ideas in mind. Now, getting started is very difficult, and what's even harder and more important is to work on it consistently. So one idea is to work at least 1 hour every day on your side hustle. And I know you get tired from work, and I know you feel like you have very little time, but you do. Like, you do have 1 hour of time every day. It just doesn't feel like it. If you get home from work and you feel like you don't have the energy, try taking a power nap for 30 minutes and then work on your project. In time, you will adapt to this. Consistency is the key. And I also have to mention that patience is important. Most people give up after 5 minutes. Take your time. Don't rush. Good things take time. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video and consider subscribing. Thanks. Bye.